noon, 12 noon. News from across the states, 4 p.m. And our major news at 6 p.m. Citizen FM 93.7. Always precise in news broadcast.
This is 93.7 Citizen FM, Abuja. Time for news on the hour.
A very good evening and welcome to Citizen FM News at 6. I am Aisha Shebadegi. First, the headlines. President-elect Bola Tinubu promises not to disappoint Nigerians. Nigeria State Judicial Service Commission sacks magistrate over misconduct. And on the international scene, Zimbabwe seeks NAFTA technical support. Now the news in detail. President Muhammadu Buhari has sworn in the new chairman of the Police Service Commission, former Inspector General of Police Dr. Solomon Arinze. Arinze took his oath of office at the council chamber of the presidential villa, Abuja, in the presence of President Buhari, Vice President Yemi Oshibajo, Secretary to Government of the Federation Boss Mustafa, Chief of Staff to the President Professor Ibrahim Gambari, and other FEC members. This comes 2 months after the Senate confirmed him as the chairperson of the PSC. President Buhari had forwarded Arinze's name to the Senate, asking the upper legislative chamber to confirm him in line with Section 153, subsection 1, and Section 154, subsection 1 of the Constitution is amended. President-elect Bola Ahmed Tinubu has disclosed that he cannot afford to squander his mandate as the nation's next president because it was a dream that he has spent his life perfecting. The development is coming 1 week after his media officer, Tunde Rahman, announced that the president-elect had departed the country for vacation in Paris, France capital. Rahman noted that after a short rest in Europe, he may stay back to observe Ramadan fast before heading for Umrah in Saudi Arabia. Federal Minister of Health and the Self-Care Network of Implementing Partners and other stakeholders conducted a 3-day stakeholders hybrid meeting with the goal of strengthening the coordination of sexual, reproductive and maternal health for self-care and developing the self-care monitoring and evaluation framework. According to a statement made available to journalists, the tool will be used as a key resource for the development of national self-care monitoring framework for self-care intervention. It added that it's an effort to guarantee quality healthcare outcome from self-care interventions in Nigeria. Barely 2 months to the end of the second term of the present administration, the presidency is convincing that, like Jonathan, Nigerians will yearn for President Muhammadu Buhari when he leaves office. In an interview with Channels Television, the senior special assistant to the President on Media and Publicity, Garba Shehu, lamented over the level of criticism thrown at the president, asserting that leaders are not loved while in office. Citing the case of Goodluck Jonathan, who he says was persecuted out of office but has now become the favorite of many Nigerians, Shehu was of the opinion that these same yearnings will happen after Buhari has handed over to the next president.
My own sense is that we as Nigerians, we don't like our leaders. There will be love at first sight. There will be honeymoon period when they come in. The honeymoon doesn't last a year. And then love is replaced by hatred. We don't like them. It is after they leave office that people will begin to say, why is this man? If he was here, ABC would not have happened. Look at how we came in 2015. And you see the glory with which, say, Mr. Jonathan is treated, is received. Not only in Nigeria, but in the entire continent. So people will ask the question, is it the same one that Nigerians said they didn't like in 2015 and they threw him out?
As regards the cashless policy, she will affirm that the current cashless policy of the present administration is desirable and therefore irreversible. According to him, cashless is the way forward for Nigeria because cashless nations, and in fact, all advanced nations of the world have gone cashless.
Cashless is the way forward for all advanced nations of the world have gone cashless. Those of us who are coming behind, there are others who are well ahead of us, even among the developing countries. So it's the way to go. It's irreversible. The only sad thing is The people who should have been more pained were the ones who are inflicting pain on the lower segments of the society.
Amnesty International says double standards and inadequate responses by global and regional institutions, including the UN Security Council and the African Union to human rights abuses, fueled impunity and instability in 2022. According to the report released by Amnesty International titled "The State of the World's Human Rights," stated that human rights abuses, killings of protesters, worsened in Nigeria and other African nations. The report highlighted the effect of conflicts in many countries in sub-Saharan Africa, while blaming the failure of leadership on global organizations. According to reports, human rights defenders and political oppositions in Africa face repression, including Cameroon, Ethiopia, Guinea, Mali, Senegal, Zimbabwe, among other countries. Federal Road Safety Corps has commenced a process for the prosecution of drivers involved in both the Libya and Bunza accidents, which led to the loss of many lives and victims sustaining varying degrees of injuries. The court said it was a decision to protect the rights of passengers and as well to serve as deterrents to other traffic violators. The court spokesperson Bizi Kasim said in a statement that the Court Marshal Dauda Aliyu decried the continuous violation of traffic rules and regulations by some drivers, adding that their recklessness on highways had destroyed properties and loss of lives. He added that FIRC boards had also ordered a nationwide clampdown on such violators. Nigeria Air Force has warned the members of the public about the fraudulent online notification of admission into its School of Medical Science and Aviation Medicine in Kaduna. This is disclosed in a press release by NAF spokesperson Ayodele Famuyiwa. Famuyiwa said an imposter identified as Air Commando Aniki Obina is asking interested candidates to pay 50,000 naira for the purchase of an admission form. NAF therefore called on general public to ignore such information, stating that it has nothing to do with the person or claim by the fraudster. Niger State Judicial Service Commission has sacked a magistrate for allegedly being involved in a professional misconduct and abuse of office. The Secretary of the Commission, Abdurrahman Ahmed Garafini, while briefing newsmen in Mina, the state capital, disclosed that the downgraded Sharia court judges will be made to undergo 1 year tutelage on the senior judges. The NJSC secretary explained that the decision were taken at the 166th meeting of the commission held on March 21st, 2023, after the consideration of recommendation by a committee set up to investigate petitions against the judges. Garafini further explained that out of 7 petitions, 3 against the dismissed judge, adding that 2 were sufficiently proved by the petitioners. Borno State Governor Babagana Umar Zulum has announced plans to conduct 3 integrated villages for the resettlement of Nigerian refugees displaced by Boko Haram insurgents in 2014. Over 20,000 refugees were reportedly displaced by the activities of Boko Haram insurgents in Borno, Yobe and Adamawa states, and were forced to take refuge in neighboring Republic of Chad, Cameroon and Niger. Zulu made the disclosure while chairing a technical committee meeting which was held at the Borno State Liaison Office in Abuja. On the international scene, Commander of the Air Force of Zimbabwe, Air Marshal Elson Moyo, has sought the assistance of the Nigerian Air Force in the area of research and development. He also solicited support with the maintenance of 2 of its aircrafts. These were contained in a statement issued by the Director of Public Relations and Information, Nigerian Air Force Air Commodore Ayodele Famuyiwa. While calling on Nigerian Air Force to come to the rescue of Zimbabwe, Moyo added that the sanctions slammed on his country had created technical challenges in his service. Lastly, on sports, Manchester United's manager Alex Ferguson and ex-Arsenal boss Arsene Wenger became the first managers to be inducted into the Premier League Hall of Fame. The 2 men locked horns during a period of intense rivalry starting in the 1990s, winning 16 English top-flight titles between them. Ferguson, 81-year-old, is the most successful manager in Premier League history, guiding Manchester United to 13 titles, while Wenger won the competition 3 times with Arsenal, including going unbeaten in the 2003 and 2004 seasons. And that's the end of the news. But before we go, a recap of the main point once again. We told you that President-elect Bola Tinubu promises not to disappoint Nigerians. You also had that Niger State Judicial Service Commission sacks magistrates over misconduct. And on the international scene, you had that Zimbabwe seeks a NAFSA technical support. That's the Citizen FM News at 6, as edited by Lawrence Umwete. I am Aisha Shaibu Badegi. Good evening.
Looking for the best in news updates?
Yeah, man.
Listen to Citizen FM 93.7 Abuja. Now listen. News on the hour, 7 a.m., 8 a.m., 9 a.m., 10 a.m., and 11 a.m. 1 p.m., 2 p.m., 3 p.m., and 5 p.m. News at noon, 12 noon. News from across the states, 4 p.m. And our major news at 6 p.m. Citizen FM 93.7. Always precise in news broadcast.
Hello, Abuja. You are listening to 93.7 Citizen FM, the latest radio station based in Nigeria's capital. Our station seeks to broadcast a broad mix of culture and views with priority given to development programming to enable residents share ideas and opinions, music and drama. At Citizen FM, we believe in progressive talk and solution-driven conversation. Our aim is to build a united Nigeria by bringing people of diverse culture together through communication. Enjoy listening to 93.7 Citizen FM. We are more than just a radio station. We are a part of your life.